What's up, Soul Nation? Ginger Prime here, and today we're talking about Final Fantasy XIV versus the World of Warcraft. It looks like we have a clear winner. Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers, one of the highest rated, not just games in an expansion or a part of an MMO, but one of the highest rating games this year alone, according to Metacritic. This is truly, I guess, a monumental, time, because earlier this year over at Work to Game was pretty much talking about the death of the king, how WoW pretty much was on the outs, and it looks like a lot of people are checking out Final Fantasy XIV. Now, Skill Up, as a part of Layman Gaming, they sit down and talked about this. I'll include a link in the description below for you guys if you want to go check out their video. They kind of dive into it, especially from their perspective of having just kind of really taking a look at Final Fantasy XIV. And according to Skill Up, who pretty much he's been playing the whole game, took him about like 87 hours to get into Heavensward. He's finished Heavensward. He's about to go into Stormblood. He talks about kind of the first part of it is really rough. But what's really interesting is when you look at FF logs and you look at WoW logs, that for the first time they're seeing kind of this even keel of people for the raids that have been released as a part of 8.2 and 5.0, and how that he feels that that's actually a little bit, it's not awesome that they're neck and neck for the first time, which is really exciting for 14 players who have never really been kind of the number one MMO like on the planet. But what's really telling is that you have a lot of players still working their way through what he estimates to be about 300 hours worth of content just to get into that. And he thinks that there's a lot of people kind of working their way through this game so that they can get caught up and get to cap and be able to participate and actually use those tools themselves. So he thinks the number on 14 side is actually relatively smaller. What does this mean overall for Final Fantasy? What does this mean overall for MMOs? Honestly, I think if anything else, maybe there'll be a resurgence in the industry. Maybe people will see and how they should be managed and handled. I think Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers is a really premier game, and it's really exciting to see it getting the recognition that it needs. Obviously, growth has growing pains, and we've seen some of that this last week with various different parts of the community who maybe aren't used to such a larger player base themselves. I'd highly encourage that matchmaking can end up being a big issue, and it's not necessarily the most advantageous for the community. Like if you're looking for like somebody to find and have that same kind of goal that you have, it's better to kind of use the game or use outside tools to do that. But beyond that, like this just feels like a little bit of me saying called it. Like, this is what I've been seeing. This is how I've been seeing the game kind of progress ever since 4.5 coming out, and seeing how BFA really has disappointed people. Seeing them either go in to check out ESO, which is like one of the other top MMOs right now. They kind of estimate that it's Final Fantasy, World of Warcraft, and ESO. But I really like the fact that we're seeing such growth in the community, that people are excited about an MMO, that people are enjoying the story of the MMO, that people are enjoying the raid and more. And I think more people will hopefully mean, more game, that they can continue to invest in the game and make more things and do more things with it. I think the challenge is still there. We talked about it a little bit over at Work to Game. We'll probably talk about it next week a little bit more as well. But the challenge is there with the Realm Reborn and kind of getting people into the game easier. I'm hopeful that Square Enix either invests in kind of rebuilding that. I've got a video going up about it next week over at Work to Game. Hope you guys check out that. Hope you're excited about that conversation. But oh my gosh, what do you guys think about this? What does it mean overall for MMOs? What does it mean for Final Fantasy? What does it mean for World of Warcraft? I don't think the game will go away. I think there'll be obviously a player base there. There's people who've invested thousands, if not more, hours into that world. And, I think, it's going to be interesting to see what Activision Blizzard does. Also, in line with the rumors that they might be getting acquired by either Disney or Apple. There's a lot of moving parts here. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out and see what impact it might have on BlizzCon this year, to see what impact it might have on the future of games, especially with, when you look at Activision Blizzard really not offering much in lines with that, what people want from a battle royale. I liked what they did with Black Ops 4, but then they've been really just kind of messing with that game itself. Ideally, I think the battle Royale mode or game really kind of, benefits from that free-to-play seasonal content kind of mindset. But it's all real interesting, and obviously we have Yoshi P himself, the director of Final Fantasy XIV, talking about wanting to make his own Battle Royale game. Man, things are going to get interesting, and they're going to get interesting really quickly. So we'll have to wait and see what it has. But those are just my thoughts, guys. I am really just excited to be able to share some of that information with you. I'd love to know your thoughts about 14 dominating World of Warcraft. Is it real? Is it hype? Is it fiction? Am I just fanning out because I love Final Fantasy so much? I'll be interested in your opinion. I'll be interested in Chris's thoughts about this as well, because he is an avid player of both. He's very disappointed in World of Warcraft right now. We've talked a lot about that, and we'll continue to do so over at Work to Game. But anyway, Soul Nation, for this channel, thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for hanging out for this discussion. I look forward to hearing from you guys about anything and everything video game related stuff in the comments below. Check out all the links. We got all kinds of stuff to check out our Discord and more. But for Ginger Prime Gaming, take it easy, Soul Nation. I'll talk to you soon. Whoa, you guys are the best. Jorge, Kyle, Philip, 31 Edwards, Rock Druid, Corey Longwith, Aaron, Axis, Hambone, Lady Wild Plays, CN Navs, this is going too fast, Christopher, Phil, Shun, Dragons, Soul, Keen, Knights, Assassin, Carlos, Sherry, Robert, Leyland, Davon, Tim, Jojo World, Terrace, Sora, Scrublord, Trevor, Mill, Almond, 70s, Kimber, Tyler, oh my god, I'm so sorry, Cody, Legend, Carlos, Endless, Jonathan, Jade, Sai, Derek, Brandon, Aaron, Riku, Daryl, Chemistro, Lauren, The Wolf, the Gar, Kelly, Anthony, Solid, John, Husky, oh my god, everybody, Dark Later, Christopher, Vestments, John, Nopi, Brian, Tom, Dylan, Silent, whew, I missed your names. I'm sorry. I love you all. Oh my gosh, that was tough.